going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. We're going to be going over our instant reaction, some news, rumors, and takeaways from the Vikings beating the Bears 19-13 in the most Minnesota Vikings Chicago Bears game of all time. Listen, guys, we know these games get ugly, especially when they're played in Chicago. And Chicago has kind of been a little bit of a house of horrors, I would say, for the Vikings in years past. But today was scary. But the Vikings do end up getting a victory, so that's obviously a huge positive. But I didn't think they looked too good. I mean, if you guys noticed, the quarterback for the Bears right now is not Justin Fields. It's Tyson Bagent, who had to fill in there for Fields when Fields left with a hand injury in the third quarter. He stepped in, and I thought he was about to shock the world. Listen, they were driving, the Bears were, with a couple minutes left, and Bagent just threw one up there in a complete just disarray. It was a no-man's ball, and the Vikings ended up getting it. Listen, I get it. You're coming out with a victory, but this offense looked bad. The defense, I'm not saying they, got lucky. They were very opportunistic, but, I don't know. There's a lot to be desired for this Vikings team today. A lot to be desired. I mean, the offensive numbers frankly weren't there, and they were just frankly terrible. I mean, listen, 174 yards passing, terrible. 46 yards rushing on the ground, terrible. I mean, the Vikings offense just did not look good today. We'll dive into them in a little bit more here. I did think the Vikings defense, turnovers were great, but I mean, a lot of other defenses in the league could have had that. And I think a lot of it was just the Vikings being opportunistic, and that is a skill. But I think today was a lot more about, the Bears being bad instead of the Vikings being good, if that makes sense. The Bears just beat themselves straight up. And, it's not a good team in Chicago, and maybe it's not a good team in Minnesota. This is a weird feeling because, yes, the Vikings won, and you won without Jefferson on the road, but still, it's just weird. It's just a weird vibe. But I'll ask you guys this question. Who is your biggest winner from today's game? If you guys have a winner down in the comment section, let me know. Let me know your biggest winner from today's Minnesota Vikings win over the Chicago Bears with a final score of 19-13. Biggest winner off the top of my head, I don't know. I really can't think of a winner. I probably have to go Kirk because I thought Kirk had a couple of good throws, but, I mean, numbers don't blow you away. Nobody really on offense. And Jordan Hicks. How about this? I'll go Jordan Hicks as the biggest winner of today's game, no doubt. Give me Jordan Hicks. I thought Jordan Hicks played a hell of a game. I think he had the pick and obviously the scoop and score. Yeah, give me Jordan Hicks. I'll go Jordan Hicks as my biggest winner today. Yeah, he had a hell of a game. He had a touchdown. Give me Jordan Hicks. I thought Jordan Hicks played a hell of a game. So that would be my biggest winner. Speaking about the quarterback, TJ Hockenson let him down again on a couple of plays, but I thought Kirk overall played pretty well. He just had a couple of really bonehead turnovers, and the pick technically wasn't his fault, but I don't know. He just, I don't know. Kirk just didn't really look his best today, and I feel like we've been saying that for the past couple of weeks. There's just always so much more to be desired, especially from that offense. I think the offense is the biggest issue here, which we'll get into here in just a second. But first, before we dive into the latest on the Vikings offense, I do want to give a huge shout-out to Prize Picks, the newest sponsor of Vikings Now. I'm super excited to tell you about our new sponsor here at Vikings Now, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and it is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just select two or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the /1 daily fantasy sports platform in North America. One last time, go to prizepicks.com, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use that promo code CLNS and get your deposit matched today. So this was the final box score from today's ball game. Vikings did end up beating the Bears we'll take a victory, but it's just one of those victories where, like, it doesn't necessarily feel like a victory. And, you know, maybe that's just us being negative Vikings fans, or maybe that's just us calling it like we see it, because it was an ugly win, but I'll take it. We did have some other news come out this weekend about Kirk saying he's not going to waive his no-trade clause. Probably give my thoughts on that in a video tomorrow, so make sure you guys are subscribed before you guys see that. But, yeah, I mean, listen, the Vikings are going to hang around now. Like, you get to 1-4, right? Let me actually pull up their upcoming schedule. We'll round out the show with this, and then we'll talk about the offense too. Let me look up their schedule real quick, because next week it is the Niners at home. It is the Niners at home, which is going to be a brutal game. But then they go, listen to this stretch right here. So it's the Niners at home. Let's just say we chalk that up to an L. We're sitting there at 2-5. The Packers, that's winnable. Say we win that, 3-5. Falcons, 4-5. Saints, 5-5. And then it's the Broncos and Bears again. The Vikings could drop this game to the Niners and be realistically 7-5. And then even after that, so the Vikings have a stretch where they go Broncos, Bears, and Raiders. Just get to that point. Like, you just got to stay floating around. The schedule gets a lot easier. A lot easier. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe I'm being delusional, Lefty, but you really never know in the NFL. You really never know. I do want to end the day just kind of talking about the offense a little bit, because the offense obviously really struggled today. You know, the Vikings did put up 19 points, but, you know, that was also from a scoop and score by Jordan Hicks. I mean, these numbers are terrible. The thing is, you weren't going against a good Bears defense either. You're going against a very poor Bears defense, and I understand you didn't have Jefferson, but still, man, I mean, they were just not good all day today. Too many 3-and-outs. Listen, this offense, it just always leaves so much left to be desired. Quick question from the chat. What would we do without Hicks and Murphy today? Yeah, I thought Hicks and Murphy did a great job today. Defense obviously saved your butt most of this game, because the offense in the second half, like, I mean, you got up. Like, you didn't score in the second half on offense. Like, you had the scoop and score, that's it. But offense just was terrible. Listen, you barely beat a Bears team starting Tyson Bagent. I get it. A win's a win, but it's going to be still a long season. They're going to have to, I don't know. It's going to be a long season, I feel like. Just, this was a win where it just feels like a loss, and that's a shitty feeling to have, but it's just true. It was just a win that felt like a loss. It's kind of my thoughts. A win that felt like a loss, but hey, listen, we're going to keep you guys covered with all that and more on the channel, so make sure you guys are subscribed. See you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you guys later. As always, Skol Vikes.